Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and I welcome all of you back to another Chris Chan Quickie article. And today, ladies and gentlemen, is the story of one Jack Thaddeus. So, this one isn't, again, going to be anything like too special because, trust me, if you're after for someone's with a lot of history too, we've got some good coming. But let's go from the beginning. Troll disclosure: the persona was created, appropriated, or otherwise used to manipulate trolls and stuff like that. Jack Thaddeus, give me back my PlayStation Network accounts, you expert hacker. You irrational motherfucking burning in hell hacker. Chris talking about Jack while humping his PlayStation 3. Jack Thaddeus, often misspelled as Jack Thaddeus by Chris, also known as Crass Crab, was born on the 12th of August 1985, is a troll responsible for various trolling schemes against Chris. He first gained notoriety for hacking Chris's PlayStation Network account and forcing him to perform many humiliating acts in order to get it back. After this, he was largely forgotten, until he started placing gay ads on the Wikipedia, which caused many rage videos from Chris and multiple phone calls between the two. During the calling out saga, Chris was tricked into thinking Jack was Ahuvia Rotem Harel, also known as ADF Funsalada, a transgender communist lolcow. This sparked a brief fight between the two lolcows. Ahuvia is still commonly used to represent Jack, even though Jack Ahuvia Harel has gone on record many times saying that, well, that she is not Jack Thaddeus. So, let's get into this. PlayStation Network hacking. In July 2009, Chris came in contact with a young woman named Samantha Thaddeus, and they quickly became friends. After gaining his trust, Samantha convinced Chris to give her his Club Nintendo and PlayStation Network accounts. Why, I don't really know. Shortly before hacking into the PSN account, just like two previous trolls, this enraged Chris and he made a short video addressed to her, referring to her by her online username OxygenCleanFanatic2264. Samantha refused to give the account back and continued taunting Chris through emails. This drove him insane, and he started spamming her inbox, sending her 108 emails, all repeating the phrase, "God will rain down with a vengeance upon you until you give me back my Japan, Spain, Hong Kong, France, and Germany PlayStation Network accounts." Eventually, Chris started getting emails from a man named Jack Thaddeus, Samantha's father. He challenged Chris to a duel, a showdown where whoever lost their virginity first would win. Seems a bit unfair if Jack was already, lost his virginity to have a daughter, but Chris should have saw through this immediately. It took me all of 3 seconds to do that. He claimed that he was a virgin, despite having a wife and daughter. Chris agreed to this deal and said to Jack that he would have sex in the next week. Jack made more rules, telling Chris that it would have to be a real girl instead of a doll, and that he had to recreate the sex act seen in She Came for Quick.jpg. Chris agreed to both of these terms, but inevitably was unable to meet them, and resorted to other measures. Chris started emailing Samantha, asking if he could hack into her email account. She agreed to those terms, but only if Chris would ship her a bottle of OxyClean. Chris agreed to this, but never actually did it. Chris then started emailing Jack, impersonating Samantha poorly. "Listen, bro, I can dig Chrissy hustling you for his accounts back. I have to plan on how to really mess with him. Give me back a couple of his accounts, that way he can't get them all from you. And besides that, he ain't hassling me as much as now as he has you. The bigger man of this era will dat heavy power. Besides, I am fonding over his Creatures classic I noticed he had. I'm a sucker for those space monkeys, and I'll nix his French with my alt address. D lols lols lols." I'm glad they illustrated this was from Chris, because I almost couldn't tell you if this is Chris trying to impersonate a black person or a green person or something like that, because I think Chris This is again maybe a problem more about when you don't actually interact with anyone in the outside world, is that you kind of start to play fast and loose on how you think people actually speak. Nobody I know speaks like that. Jack was horrified by Samantha's email and asked if she'd been doing drugs or hanging out with Maurice, Jamal, and those. Chris ceased impersonating Samantha after this. Jack and Sam started talking about troll plots, including getting rid of Chris's welfare money by showing Rolling and Trolling to the welfare people. Jack also talked about Liquid Chris going to the anime convention Otakon and sent Sam a video from Liquid. Chris was angered by this video and responded in real protest against the fake, starting the now beloved Liquid Chris saga. Chris, as Sam, sent Jack an email asking to give Chris more time to lose his virginity, as it would be unfair to give him a strict time limit. He's so R-word that he needs long time to generate a good idea. Chris trying to get Jack to give him more time. Jack violently refused, not understanding Sam's logic. He then invited Sam to a secret troll IRC chat, which Chris entered under the pseudonym Bill Riley. Notable moments include Chris pretending to be a troll, asking if trolls could force Chris to R-word Rocky Shoemaker. Jack appeared in the chat talking about his plot to get Chris to hump his PlayStation 3, mentioning that Chris had to make the video in 12 hours or he would report the PSN account and get it banned. After witnessing this in the chat, Chris actually produced the video, humping the PlayStation 3 for 8 minutes straight, while repeatedly pleading to get his accounts back. Jack leaked the video on 4chan. After the video was made, Jack refused to give the PlayStation Network accounts back, and also stated that he knew Chris was Sam. He then asked Chris to make another video, where he sings the song "Okay to Be Gay", but Chris accepted but lashed out at Jack. "I'll do your song, but please, just this for me. What was the origin of you wanting to troll the shit out of me? And do not say because I killed anyone, because I fucking never have. They kill themselves. What have I ever done to you to make you turn against me? What the fuck? I have to know. Why me? What inspired the damn troll from the very start before November 2007? What the fuck did I do to who? And all respective when, where, and how questions as well. I have the right to know. Why my name in the mud? There are worse and better people than me, even as of 2004, in the longest time as well. What the fuck? Good question. Jack in response asked Chris who was the very first troll, saying that it would answer Chris's question. Chris sent an email to both Katie Bay and Love You Long Time to try and get their help, but he never figured it out. Chris made the video requested by Jack, telling it's where he sang in a disgusting manner about it being okay to be gay. Jack was disappointed by this video and asked Chris to sing it with more pride. Chris delivered this video, but wore an abused disguise and added many anti-gay messages into the video. Jack requested that Chris made the video again, but Chris never followed through, declaring that he did not care about his PlayStation Network accounts. Why he would go, I suppose he just knew. I think Chris deep down knew that he was never going to get them back at that point, so what would be the point? Wikipedia and all because Chris literally decided to give them away on the spur of somebody just saying to give them to him. That's it. Wikipedia advertisements. So quite a bit later, in November of 2009, Jack purchased advertising space on the Wikipedia. One banner ad linked to a gay rights website, noting that the creator and hero of Family Guy both support gay rights, and using the hated word naive, while another advertised Mexican vacations using an anthropomorphic cactus mascot. Chris was incensed by the desecration of his wiki and demanded that the ads be removed. Upon being told that Thaddeus was responsible, Chris declared, "I'll deal with him myself." Whatever measures he took, they didn't do much good, because the original ads were soon joined by many new banners featuring pickles, homos, and other things Chris hates and fears. These ads would have stayed for a long time since Jack, a gentle and generous soul, rented all the ad spaces to the end of 2010. Jack eventually leased some of the ad spaces to Mao, the webmaster of the Asperpedia. On the 25th of February 2010, this lease apparently concluded, and Jack filled the website with dicks. Eventually, on the 18th of March 2010, Jack pulled all his funding from the site, forcing the sysop to take the site down. It came back the next day under the rule of Mao. Calling out saga. On the 16th of August 2011, Chris claimed to have doxed on Jack and claimed that his real name was Ahuvia, that he lived in Pennsylvania, and that Jack is planning to have gender reassignment surgery, which he did in June of 2018. So, not for a while then. He demanded a video of apology to be uploaded by Jack/Ahuvia by the 10th of September 2011. The Ahuvia Chris is referring to is none other than Ahuvia Rotem Horel, a fellow lolcow. This information is unsurprisingly fabricated. Though Jack and Ahuvia do have somewhat similar voices, regardless, Ahuvia and Chris, despite the animosity between the two, share many of the same traits and characteristics. A week later, he revealed that Jack was a communist and into BDSM, and it was at this point that Ahuvia responded to him. This is true, denouncing all the fake information Chris presented alongside his own lolcowness. Chris, still firmly believing the rumours, made another video with his usual homophobia. To this day, Jack Thaddeus is most commonly represented by ADF. Unfortunately, I suppose. ADF vs. Quick. Ahuvia, even before Chris's videos addressed to him, was a ween, trying and failing to troll Chris. After the calling out videos, he made a number of response videos reveling in the opportunity to get a rise out of Chris. On the 28th of August 2011, Ahuvia uploaded his first video addressed to Chris. It is a short showing of a rainbow on the streets of Philadelphia and mocking Chris for his homophobia. Okay, so let's just see this. Why Philadelphia is so much greater than Quickville. I dispute that. I dispute that claim quite heavily.
Hey Chris, have a look at this. You're gonna hate me. Welcome to Philadelphia, where it's okay to be queer.
Description, I rest my case. Shortly after this, ADF made a longer video in response to recalling Ahuvia. He mostly dedicates it to discussing Chris's homophobia and transphobia, lecturing and mocking him on these topics. He repeatedly asked Chris to move out of 14 Branch Lane Court and come to Philadelphia. Chris responded to the video in response to ADF. Okay, well, since it is such a long video, we might probably have to, let's just... yeah, I know. That there will probably come the day where I actually talk about, Ahuvia in, greater lengths, but that will come in a different day. Description. This is my response to Christian Western channelers, Christian videos deriding my gender identity and decision to transition to desired gender from assigned birth sex. A decision of many others that came before me and to come after me as members of the transgender gender variant community. He also continues to make false allegations that I am Jack Thaddeus and or the party recently behind the recent hacking of the PlayStation Network that occurred this year. 2 weeks after this video, and a week after Bob's death, Ahuvia uploaded another video. Running with a friend, while running, they both insult him and historical locations, along with hailing Michael Snyder as a hero in Philadelphia in order to get Chris angry. And, well, short as
Hey everyone, Harrell here, chairwoman Harrell to be exact.
Yeah, that's gonna be for another day. See, Chris, I did not sit on my ass and play video games. I get out and motherfucking enjoy life. Did this while on a guerrilla photograph run with a friend, late August 2011. Anyway, so there's more about this. Yeah, and there was more about talking about. Anyway, move finally in the comics. Let's just put a cherry on top of this. Jack made his first appearance in Sonic 2 issue 10 as the Full Saint garbage building is collapsing. When Jason Kendrick Howe escapes, he condemns him and Clyde Cash for being trolls. And, well, that word specifically. When Beale escapes, he too condemns the two for their actions, saying that being, this word again, that are slandering and tarnishing an innocent man's good name, is just as evil as being an assistant for Adolf Hitler. With no option left, Clyde and Jack hold hands and together jump into the 66+6 story elevator shaft to their death. And to be honest, that's just about really all there is. So, what exactly have we learned through all of this? Is that Jack Thaddeus was just somebody who got the opportunity, struck while Chris was at his dumbest, and, well, basically just made a few not necessarily substantial things about Chris, and that's pretty much where it ends. To be honest, Jack Thaddeus is kind of inconsequential as far as the actual story, well, the life of Chris is, but he's just significant enough it caused Chris to have this sort of response because, well, it doesn't take much, and especially back in the day. So, with all that being said and done, I hope all of you guys have enjoyed this, and I cannot wait to see all of you guys again in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye for now.